Good evening. Thank you very much. And Mayor, thank you very much for that warm introduction. It's great to be back in Chicago again. I just was back here at the end of last year and was talking about education. Um, as you know, we unveiled our budget earlier this week, actually on Monday, and what it details is a $1.6 trillion increase in education spending. Now, I know that's vitally important to the citizens of Chicago uh, because Chicago does need some help with education, and that's what our administration is committed to do. One of the key cornerstones of that is education and education spending. And with this budget that we submitted to Congress on Monday, I truly believe that we're on the way to reforming our schools, getting the teachers the pay they definitely deserve. But Mayor, again, thank you very much, members of the council, um, fellow citizens. As we gather tonight to reflect on the trials and triumphs of the past 3 years, I stand before you not only as your leader, but as a fellow citizen, sharing a vision to renew the spirit of our generation. We have faced unprecedented challenges, from the relentless grip of an unprecedented pandemic to the growing polarization. Yet, through it all, we have demonstrated a resilience that defines the American spirit. In the course of the past 3 years, our collective efforts have borne fruit, witnessing a remarkable reduction in unemployment from an alarming 15% to an impressive 3.8%. The first time since the 1960s. Can you believe that? The first time since the 1960s. And just think, we were 4 years ago at this time, we were on the threshold of going to the 15% unemployment. The pandemic was hitting our shores. A lot of uncertainty was going on in our country. Uh, the economy was on the verge. And here we are 4 years later with our economy booming, unemployment down. Uh, the economy is in good shape, folks. It really is. And tonight I want to share with you my vision for America. And unlike many of the other candidates who are running for office, I have not heard anything about a vision. All I heard is one candidate destroying the other candidate. Now, some are being very, very civil about it, and I appreciate that, but others are destroying one another. But yet, we're not talking about the issues that are so important in our country. So, I want to share with you my vision without attacking any of my opponents. We begin by returning to work. We're committed to overhauling the unemployment system. No longer will it be susceptible to exploitation. Our new enhanced unemployment system will mandate a minimum of 5 job interviews per week for benefits, ensuring that every able bodied American is presented with ample opportunities for gainful employment. Now, let me be clear about that this evening. That when I say the term able bodied, I'm excluding our seniors and stay at home parents. Who I am addressing, however, are those who, despite the end of the pandemic, have chosen unemployment and have not returned to the workplace. This status quo needs to change. And under my leadership, it will change. On the topic of infrastructure, this initiative is not merely about fixing things, it's a deliberate effort to strengthen and modernize critical elements such as roads, bridges. Our commitment to improving infrastructure goes beyond immediate repairs. This initiative is a strategic, forward looking endeavor aimed at enhancing the very foundation of our nation. We recognize that our roads, bridges, and other essential structures form the backbone of our society, facilitating economic activities, connectivity, and the overall well being of our citizens. This improvement plan involves a meticulous assessment of the current infrastructure conditions, identifying areas that require not only repairs, but comprehensive upgrades. We are focused on deploying advanced engineering solutions to ensure that our infrastructure not only meets existing standards, but anticipates and adapts to the evolving needs of our dynamic society. From the development of smarter transportation networks to incorporating innovative materials and construction methodologies, our aim is to create infrastructure that is not only durable, but is also efficient. We envision a future where our citizens experience smoother commutes, safer travels, and a robust infrastructure network that facilitates economic growth and societal progress. Central to our strategy is recognizing the profound impact on our communities. It's not just about construction, it's about creating opportunities. By investing in these improvements, we're stimulating local economies, generating jobs, yes, generating jobs, and breathing new life into neighborhoods, ensuring prosperity reaches every corner of our nation. A cornerstone of this initiative is our commitment to environmental stewardship. We are incorporating advanced technologies to make our infrastructure more eco friendly, including significant investments in renewable energy projects such as solar and wind. Recognizing the need for collaboration, we emphasize bipartisanship. We call on Congress to unite and pass comprehensive legislation that not only addresses immediate needs, but sets the foundation for sustained long term development. Understanding the unpredictability of the future, our plan prioritizes resilience, strengthening our infrastructure, ensures a quicker recovery in times of crisis, and underscores our nation's ability to rebound from unforeseen challenges. Beyond immediate concerns, the plan charts a course for the future. Strategic investments are intended to position the United States as a global leader, not just economically, but also in terms of technological innovation. This initiative transcends political affiliations. It is a collective effort reflecting the enduring spirit of our nation. And over the coming weeks and months, as we discuss this plan, let us remember it's an opportunity for our country to work together, irrespective of our differences, for the collective betterment of all. And it is. It's about working together. I think oftentimes people that are elected to Congress, and even some maybe in the executive branch, they forget when they get up in Washington. It's very easy to forget where you come from. You land at Reagan Airport, you get in downtown, you forget about your hometown. You're caught up in the game. You're caught up in what is Washington, D.C. But representatives that are elected need not to forget it's the people of this country who elected them, and they work for the people. You know, shifting our focus to the exorbitant cost of prescription drugs, this issue transcends mere policy. It's a moral imperative. It's unjust for individuals to bear the burden of paying hundreds of dollars for medications while Big Pharma is over here reaping in billions of dollars of profits. And I think about my dear friend back home in Texas, a school teacher. We're going to get her more money, but it shouldn't take the money that we're giving her in a raise to pay for a prescription. Here's an example, and it's an example of her. She has a prescription that she needs, not want, she needs, and it's costing her $700 a prescription. $700 a prescription. How is that fair? How is that fair? And so it's time that we bring pharmaceutical costs under control. You know, there's this commercial, and I won't name the product, but this commercial that this guy's on there, and he talks about the cost of this product and how you can go to a drugstore and it's $400 for a prescription. But then you go through this mail service and it's like $14 a prescription. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And under my administration, we will see that everybody in this country pays fair prices for pharmaceutical and prescription drugs. Now let's turn our attention to the transformative potential of electric vehicles. As we stand on the precipice of a significant shift towards EVs, we must acknowledge the importance of infrastructure readiness. The transition involves a comprehensive overhaul from charging stations to power grids. Rushing without proper preparation is like setting sail without a navigational map, risking challenges that could hinder the adoption process and lead to unintended consequences. Think about it here in Chicago. Big, large community, one charging station. That is not going to work. You have my commitment. And I've heard other candidates say 20 years, 30 years, it's not going to auction. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. We will transition to EVs. We will transition to electric vehicles when the infrastructure is ready and not a day before. Our journey towards a sustainable future requires careful planning and strategic execution. Let us not be hasty in our pursuit, but rather deliberate in ensuring that our infrastructure is ready to support the electric revolution. By doing so, we pave the way for a smoother, more efficient transition that benefits not only us, but generations to come. Shifting our focus to the issue of the borders. Let me affirm here today that the United States welcomes people, but it must occur through the proper channels, not through unauthorized crossings. We will reestablish border control to ensure order and security. The fentanyl crisis, which is this is unbelievable. The fentanyl crisis, it's a byproduct of what's going on down at the border. It's unfolding within our nation and demands urgent attention. This administration will work with police and law enforcement to assure that this problem gets under control, but it starts at the border. We will ensure that we will work with law enforcement to help efforts to dismantle illicit drug networks, to enhancing addiction treatment accessibility within our healthcare systems. Addressing the fentanyl crisis mandates collaboration across various sectors, from government agencies and healthcare professionals to community organizations, to a unified and multifaceted approach. We can strive to stem the tide of this devastating epidemic, safeguarding communities and fostering a healthier, more resilient community or society and community. But think about that. The fentanyl that crosses our border. There is enough fentanyl that's crossed our border now to kill every single American in this country. Every single American. It's got to come to an end. Something that's been on the radar scope of this administration since October, and actually every day of the administration, I shouldn't say this one day, but every day, is the Middle East. It has long been marred by decades of conflict, and the Israeli-Palestinian issue remains at the heart of this turmoil. I firmly believe that a just and equitable solution lies in the establishment of two independent states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. Supporting a two-state solution does not mean taking sides. Whether it's an endorsement of just and comprehensive resolution that accommodates the rights, security, and dignity of both Israelis and Palestinians. It's a call for dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to finding common ground for the betterment of all involved. Now, this next subject is one that I've thought really hard about. I've always believed that taking a life is wrong. My heart tells me that. My religion tells me that. I believe in the sanctity of life, and I recognize the profound value of every individual. At the same time, I firmly believe in a woman's right to make choices about her own body and reproductive health. The issue of abortion rights, Roe, is multifaceted, involving personal beliefs, ethical consideration, and legal frameworks. Supporting a woman's right to choose does not diminish the recognition of the inherent value of life. Rather, it acknowledges the complexities of individual circumstances and the autonomy that women deserve in making deeply personal decisions. As a society, we must strive to create an environment where women have access to comprehensive reproductive health care, education, and support. And really, you think about it, the government really has no business in dictating what anybody, what a citizen, man, woman, what they do, what they decide between themselves and their personal position is none of the government's business. And why are we involved in it? Why are we involved in it? You know, I told you earlier that deeply, my religion tells me, and my heart tells me it's wrong. But in this position, I have to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And one of those things is saying I have to defend the rights of people in this country. And that's what I'm going to do. Education reform stands as a pivotal cornerstone of our nation's restoration. Our classrooms should be sanctuaries of learning, not a political battleground. My education plan called Back to Basics aims to support teachers, provide quality education, and prepare students for the future by taking the politics out of the classroom. Central to this vision is a commitment to substantially increase teacher pay, coupled with an incentive for new teachers. Picture this, and I just unveiled that budget Monday, but picture this. Should we revert back to the 2019 spending levels, we can redirect a surplus of over $1 trillion towards our education system. This would only increase the education budget by about $1.61 trillion. And that's a rough estimate, but you're looking at the Department of Education budget only being increased by $1.61 trillion. This initiative translates to a remarkable increase in teacher pay. In a state with an average of 300 teachers per district, this increase amounts to approximately $500,000 per teacher. Now, here's where our promise to aspiring teachers shines. A commitment that if you're new to teaching, and there's many of you out there in this audience here tonight that may be thinking about teaching career or midway through their career and want to shift careers. Well, what you can do is you can shift that career, and then if you dedicate 1 year to the classroom, under my plan, we will pay for your certification, which can be awfully expensive. This initiative not only encourages new educators to join the ranks, but also underscores our dedication to supporting them from the very beginning. The amalgamation of increased teacher pay and certification support embodies our pledge to prioritize and honor educators. It's a testament to our belief that a thriving education system starts with valuing and investing in those who shape it. Our teachers, we can chart a course toward a brighter educational landscape, one where teachers are revered, supported, and fairly compensated. Let's pave the way for a future where excellence in education is not just a goal, but a reality for every student and educator alike. And the other thing that we have to work on is restoring patriotism in our classrooms. That's so important. The reason I'm up here tonight is because of my high school civics teacher. The reason the mayor of my city is the mayor is because of the high school civic teacher, Mr. Hickey. Not only is she doing what Mr. Hickey has asked us to do as his students, but she made history. She's the second woman black mayor of our city. It's remarkable, and she's doing an incredible job back there. But our teachers need to be focused on teaching. We shouldn't be worried about politics. And their teachers have a responsibility. They need to teach the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the good, the bad, the ugly of history, period, in the discussion. I'm not going to stand up here tonight and tell you in the course of history of our nation, we have done everything perfect. Why are we going to teach that in our classrooms? Why are we going to do that? We have to teach the bad things, because if we don't teach the bad things, this next generation of students or our next leaders are going to repeat those same mistakes. And I don't want that happening in this country. You know, back to basics is not just a campaign slogan. It's an imperative. We reject the divisive influences of this woke education. The plan I unveiled here, and I've unveiled over the last few weeks, is not merely a policy agenda. It's the opening chapter of our journey to restore greatness to the United States. And about 25 years ago, under a previous administration, another Texan that was president, he had this painting in the Oval Office, painted by Tom Lee. Tom Lee wrote about this painting and said that him and his wife Sarah lived on the east side of the mountain. And the reason they lived on the east side of the mountain is because they can see the sunrise of the day ahead, not the sunset of the day that's behind. My fellow Americans, I believe that the United States lives on the east side of the mountain, and our best days are ahead of us. They truly are. And there's nothing that we can accomplish in this country, nothing at all, if we sit down, stop the bickering, stop the arguing, and work together as one. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.